Hello everyone. I am sorry. I'm really sorry that I look like this. Glasses, like my makeup's not done or anything. My hair is not done. I stayed up all night and spent like all day yesterday finishing this book. And I have the hard copy, but I lent it to my friend to read because it was like $20. But because I finished it and she wanted to read it, I was like, I dropped it off like here, like, you know, like you can read it and I can have someone to talk to about it, because right now I don't really have anyone to talk to about this. And so I just wanted to make this video so I could put my thoughts out there, and I wrote down a ton of stuff. Wrote down a lot of questions that I have. But overall, let me just say, I really liked this book. I really enjoyed it, and it was really long too, so I just like powered through because I was just so curious about all of it, how it was gonna end and everything, and so I just like powered through and was like, I have to get to the end. Okay, let me just like, I guess, I keep showing this because I really like the cover also. I saw people didn't like the cover, but I really enjoyed the cover. Okay, so let me pull up the questions that I had. Questions, okay. The Mockingjay bothering oh, sorry, this is gonna have like tons of spoilers. I'll put it in the title. I'll put that in the title, and this has a ton of spoilers because I need to talk about it, so just saying. My first question, or more like an observation, was the Mockingjay bothering Snow so much was odd to me at first, until finally you get into like him finally like saying like, because it's a control thing, and the fact that the Jabberjays are capital made and you can control them and they have a purpose, and then they just mixed with nature and made a Mockingjay and they can't control it, they didn't expect it, it just happened. So like that's why it bothers him. But in the beginning he just hates them so much, and I'm just kind of like, is she just throwing this in for like the sake of, you know, just showing like why he hates, because you know he hates Mockingjays, you know he hates Katniss in the Hunger Games, so I was like, is she just throwing this in there so you can like see it? But then it turns into a control thing. But there was a period of time where I'm reading and I'm like, why is he, I didn't really get why he didn't like them. Anyway, next one. Why did Snow think that Sejanus wasn't going to get killed when he recorded him through the Jabberjay and was turning him in, but thought that they'd all get killed if Mayfair told people what she saw, or what she heard about the plan? What was the difference between the two? I was very confused because he kept justifying in his mind that him turning Sejanus in would just get him in prison, but he would still be alive and he would like learn how to be better, I guess. But when Snow, like, you know, to Mayfair, it was because he thought they were all going to die. So I was like, what is the difference? I was just confused in his reasoning. I know he's crazy, but I was just a little confused in his reasoning there. And I really just didn't understand why he thought Sejanus was gonna live, but that I don't know, so I don't know. Another question. So when Sejanus wants to run north, it's wrong. But when Lucy Gray wants to do it, he's 100% all for it and going with her. That I read into a little bit later about like why apparently he was only okay with doing things on his own terms, which I get that. I can see that now. Okay, here's a really big question that I have. Why did Dr. Gall take such a special interest in him specifically? I was wondering that through the whole thing. Why him? Was it because he was like the smartest in the class? I really want to know why she kept like singling him out and just focusing in on him specifically. I don't know. Here's just another observation. The quick turnaround on Lucy Gray seemed very odd. The quick turnaround of it was just very odd to me. Didn't really seem realistic. But that, you know, whatever. Okay, another one. Why, or does, I don't know if this was more like, do they or do they not? Do Sejanus's parents know Snow basically killed him? Because in the very end, you know, they're like, we have no son, and they basically take Snow under their wing as their adopted son and give him everything, money-wise, food-wise, take care of his apartment. Like, they financially provide for him because they don't have Sejanus anymore. But I'm like, do they know that Snow was the reason Sejanus died? Or are they just writing it off like Sejanus, you know, that was his own fate because he was a rebel? I just want to know. I just want to know if I need to know if they know that it was Snow. Because, and if they don't, even if they do, it's still really disgusting that Snow is just taking their money and just letting them do all that, knowing he killed his friend. That really is just disgusting. And did he really think of Sejanus as a brother? I'm confused about that part, because I know he did feel guilty for turning him in at sometimes, and then sometimes he was like justifying it. But did he actually feel that he was a brother? Like, did he actually ever feel that? And I think, I want to say like maybe, because he was so excited when Sejanus showed up at the Peacekeeper like campsite or base. He was so excited, but I want to know. I want to know if he truly felt that way. I want to know. Observation, I loved Beanpole and Bug. I love them. And Sejanus, of course, and Tigress. But Beanpole and Bug, I love them. And I want to know, another question is like, when does Tigress get all the modifications that they talk about her having in Mockingjay? Like, I wonder like when she has those, because Suzanne Collins didn't go into any specifics about like what they looked like. Only the clothes they're wearing, really. So I wonder if here's the question. I wonder if the Capitol citizens and people were all flashy during that time with their clothes and, you know, their colors. I wonder if they were at that time, or if it took a while to get to like, you know, where they are 50 years later, where that's like the big thing, fashion and all that stuff. I thought it was super interesting seeing how much the games changed from how they started out to where they end up when Katniss goes in. And so here's just like some observations I wrote down. You know, Snow made a lot of changes to the games after seeing how badly his tribute and the others were treated. I think, I don't know about that, but I wonder if he made changes like, he doesn't, like, I don't know how to describe this. So I know in the beginning, you know, he does recognize that they're not being fed, and he's like, they need to be fed. That some of them are dying before they get to the arena, and the way that he cheats by giving his tribute things. I think he changes all these things because of what he's observed, not necessarily like so the tributes have it like good, better, but I think he, maybe deep down, so they have it better, but I think he justifies it mentally and to everyone else that it helps the chances of it being equal and entertaining for the game. So like by feeding them all and all that stuff, make sure that they're all going into it. Every tribute has a fair chance for their district, I guess, for the people betting on them, you know what I mean? Like, oh, and the betting and the setting food, like all these things change because he did witness it, but I think he justifies it to everyone else, so they think it's just for the games. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if I worded that right. Maybe I'll come back to that. And then I said, I think he didn't care how the others were treated, but because he was in love with his tribute, he was forced to care. Yeah, I guess I think that. I wrote it down. Okay, here's what I was saying. He writes off the changes he implements at the very end to be for other reasons that benefit the Capitol, but I think it boils down to how he felt during the games when he saw what Lucy Gray was going through. Possibly. But I mean, at first you think he's in love with her, but then it shows that, you know, he only wanted to control her and it was like just an obsession thing. So I think, you know, Lucy Gray helped him see all this stuff, but he implemented the changes to benefit obviously him and the Capitol people betting on their tributes, and for, you know, to raise viewers. Like, I think he implements all those things for those reasons, not, you know, like for the tributes to be okay. But the only reason he was able to see all this is because he did care for Lucy Gray in the beginning, and it opened his eyes, you know? Because he was sad that she was starving. But then you're like, is it because he cares about her or he wants her to win? But it might be both. It's a little confusing, but hopefully that explains it a little bit more, how I was like interpreting it. And so many of her experiences in there changed things. Oh, I wrote this part down. Okay, I wrote this part down. Here are the experiences that she has, here are the experiences that she has in there that change certain things. So the casualty count changes because she had to, you know, risk going out there to check under the flag who has been dead. So that could also endanger tributes for people betting on them and everything. So that changes. So, and also the removal of the bodies changes with the casualty count in the air, so people know, and then they remove the bodies so they don't get in the way, I guess. Food being sent changes, you know, that gets implemented. How they were treated once they were sent to the Capitol changes, you know, they get the fancy trains, and they get to like gorge on food, and they get professional training in the thing. They also get to like stay the night in a nice place. I'm sorry, I haven't reread The Hunger Games in a really long time. I should have like brushed up on them before this, but I just wanted to dive right in. Before the game started, one of the students, I forgot her name, told Snow, tell me it'll be over quickly. And he says it'll be over quickly, but it doesn't go that way. It doesn't end quickly at all. So I think that's the reason in the future they prod the tributes and send things in to speed it up. which I think that is such a good point, because I remember reading that part and being like, you know, this, like, I mean, it shows how different the games were in the beginning, but I remember reading about how, you know, she was like, tell me it'll be over quickly, and they don't really want it to take long. Like, they don't want it to take long, and it just drags out, and it kind of does hurt, you know, Snow to see Lucy Gray like that. So I think that is a reason they speed it up, which could have a little heart in there. And then maybe having stylists in the future is an ode to Tigress and a source of employment for other people from the capital who are pursuing a career in fashion as well. I think that one's really cool, because Tigress was all about fashion and she was working for someone, but you know, it was still like minimum wage. So I think this could help, you know, maybe they implement this as an employment opportunity for all the other people who are in the capital who are seeking a career in fashion just like Tigress. And okay, so I guess I'll end it on this. Things I wished / thought were going to happen. These are just some predictions I thought were gonna happen when I was reading. After Snow was caught cheating in the games, I thought they would make Lucy an A-box, take away the main thing she holds dear besides the cubby, which is singing. And I thought she was going to go on stage and only be able to hum, and then it would hurt Snow to see that, or that the Peacekeepers were going to make a big show out of it to taunt Snow because they kept tabs on him and have her up there, and they would just like make her try and sing when she couldn't. They like force her to go up there and try and sing. And I also thought that because Snow and Lucy Gray could obviously never be in a relationship since he was part of the capital and she was from the districts, I thought that he uses that as a motivation in the future to make the Victory Village in the future, so that maybe it could have been a possibility. I don't know if that one makes sense. Okay, so I thought that the Victory Village was made so they could possibly, like, not that they two specifically would have a future together, but in the future, like, it would make it possible. I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, no. I don't know. But yeah, I just had a lot of thoughts about this, and I just wanted to put this out there really fast. So I just like did this rush, sorry. But I wanted to put my questions and thoughts out there so we could discuss. If anyone's watching this and wants to type in the comments or like leave a comment and discuss, by all means. So if you want to leave a comment and just ask questions or like, you know, just whatever, I want to discuss with y'all. I really do. I need someone to discuss this with. But yeah, it was crazy. This book, I really enjoyed it. But I want more too. You know, it leaves off he's still 18. I didn't realize also that the book takes place only within like 2 to 3 months. I was like, what? I did not realize that. Also I thought it was so crazy how they just like erased the games from everyone's memories, except the one in the vault, which I'm very curious about. I'm very, very curious about the one in the vault. And the fact that, like, you know, the victors get to go on a like little tour, because before that they just get dropped back in the district, and I was surprised by that, you know. But then it made sense that, you know, no one had electricity really to even watch and keep up with the game, so it was not working. So all that stuff is crazy. And then who was it? I think it was Mags that is in the 11th, so it was crazy. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and please leave a comment. Bye.